and welcome to the Now platform Xanadu release video. My name is Ben Ehrenberger. I'm a solution consultant here at ServiceNow that's aligned to our asset management products. And today we will be covering enterprise asset management and looking directly at the inventory repairs, asset picking, and stockroom update features within the release. Just going to quickly flash the safe harbor notice that this presentation may contain forward-looking statements that are based on our beliefs and assumptions and based off of the information that's currently available to us as of the date of this presentation. So if you'd like to read through this, please feel free to pause the video and do so. But without further ado, we can jump right in. And enterprise asset management as a solution has been in the ServiceNow portfolio since the Tokyo release, and we've really started to evolve the product as that time has gone along. So with Utah, Vancouver, Washington, and now Xanadu all coming out, we have a lot of new features and functions within enterprise asset management, some of which we'll be covering in this video, some of which are being covered in separate videos, but we'll be going into the deep dives of really what these features are here to do, why they were introduced, and how they can be helpful to you. And the first feature we're going to take a look at is the introduction of the inventory repair task. Now, this was really introduced to help you guys initiate, execute, and track all of those different asset repairs in your repair depots and warehouses, and allowing you to utilize the troubleshooting functionality to go out and find those defects in the assets and really help drive the uptime for your assets in your environment. Starting in the mobile view, so as a technician, I am able to open up this troubleshoot asset task. And within here, we're tying it back to a repair order line. We click start work as well as the start timer button to be able to keep track of how long we're actually executing this troubleshoot task for. So we're currently in that details tab, but we also have the related and activity tabs for you to keep track of things like your time worked and an activity stream of any updates that come along as things happen throughout this life cycle of this task. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and say that this dome camera is beyond repair. So when we go to close out this task, we can mark it as either repairable, unrepairable, or redeployable. We'll mark it as unrepairable, add in some work notes, and go ahead and get this submitted. To transition over to the desktop view, we'll kind of get a look at what this looks like from the back end. So back in the Enterprise Asset Workspace, we'll head over to the inventory view to be able to see specifics around these tasks, right? So when we're looking at this, there will be a quick link for the open repair orders, as well along the top as the repair orders tab as a whole. When we open this tab, what we'll find is the specific repair order that we just walked through over on the mobile device. And when we open this up, we'll get some details around the repair order. We know that it's now closed and complete. And when we go to the repair order lines, we'll see the specific repair order line for the camera that we just went through. When we open up the repair asset tasks associated to this line item, we'll notice the troubleshoot task that we just walked through associated to this entire repair task. So when we pop this open, we'll notice that, hey, we went through close complete. You'll notice the activity stream down the middle. You also have the expense lines and time worked that has been tracked as a result of us going and saying, clicking that little button back in the mobile device to keep track of our time. The next feature that we're going to be taking a look at is actually both in the hardware asset management and enterprise asset management modules, and that's the inventory picking with indoor maps. This feature gives you the ability to go through and have pick tasks associated to go through the process of retrieving stock from inventory. So starting in the mobile app, we are in the My Tasks column where we see this first task. It's a pick task that is currently a work in progress. So we are actually going and relating this back to the refresh line. We know it's a specific asset. We know where it's at, the aisle and space location, as well as any related tasks, right? So this is very similar to what we just walked through, being able to keep the track of the time you worked on the activity stream. But what you are given the ability to do is use the UI buttons to go through and locate where this asset is. And using your mobile device's native functionality with its camera, scan that asset to be able to keep track of everything as it's going through its life cycle to update in the activity stream. Last but not least, we have made some improvements when it comes to the granularity you can get in tracking for your stockrooms with the stockroom aisle and space enhancement. Now, this enhancement is really aligned for you guys to be able to better utilize space locations to really drive that efficiency and prevent loss, right? So being able to track things at a very deep level. Now, when looking at this in our demo instance, again, we're popping back into our enterprise asset workspace. We're going to run back over to our inventory view. And within the inventory view, we're going to go through and say, all right, let's go and select a stockroom, for example. So within this stockroom record itself, we've added the aisle and spaces tab along the top middle here. What we can do is pop that open just to kind of showcase how you can get from a granularity perspective to say, hey, there's two different aisles with a couple different spaces in this particular warehouse, right? And you can add as many or as few as you desire. Now, if we go over to the Enterprise Assets tab, so looking at everything that's in our inventory at this stockroom, what we'll notice is that we can assign these assets to that specific aisle and space location, right? So we'll see that there's a couple different ones that are marked in here, and there's two that are at the aisle 69, two in aisle 280, right? So keeping track at that granular level so that you can understand where to go to find your assets. And that will bring us to the end of this presentation. I do want to say thank you very much for listening in for the EAM Xanadu release for inventory repairs, asset picking, and the stockroom updates. With that, thank you very much and have a great rest of your day.